What's up? What's up? We're going to give everyone a couple minutes to get in. Starting to let people in. Hope everyone's doing well. We're finally getting some nice weather over here. What's up?
Chat's disabled.
I'll test chat right now, make sure it's good. I just put a chat test in there for everyone. On yours. We're making sure we're getting everything set up real quick for this. Okay, we'll have to do everything through live Q&A. I think the Q&A section is good, but the chat isn't. Okay, everyone's joining. So I'm going to go ahead and share a screen real quick, get everything up and going. Okay. Perfect. I'm running around from meeting to meeting today. We are all good. So, I'm pretty fired up about this. Social media. Okay, so a little bit of story of how this came to be. So I got in the mortgage industry in 2020, opened up a brokerage, scaled my production pretty quickly. And I think I got to like 92 million 2022. And then 2023 hit, and I had to figure out, I was dedicated. I was like, I'm gonna close, I'm not gonna go down in production. I'm gonna close the same production in 2023 as I did 2022. And that's when I started social media. So I started social media less than a year ago in 2023. And the whole concept was I wanted to be able to control my customer rather than being so reliant on external forces, from ads to real estate agents, to my sphere, to interest rates, to everything else. And so over the course of like 6 months, we took my page from 2,000 followers to 500,000 followers. And once we did that, I was like, okay, social media, up until that point, I hated social media. But once I did that, I realized social media is a game that when you play it, you can win. Like, I used to think these influencers were some crazy people putting in extreme content out there. But the more that I dove into social media, if you follow certain rules that they set as the game, then you can win social media. And so once I started to realize what these were, and I started to kind of have fun with it and fine tune it and create these systems that we're going to talk about today, stuff started going viral, the snowball started picking up, followers started to come. I've never paid for a follower. I've never collaborated to get followers. Everything has been organic that I've done up to this point. And so I want to talk through that because social media has the power to change your life. When you have the ability to control your customer, when you have the ability to make money from social media, and you don't need 1 million followers. Like, I know that I have a large following. In fact, I don't think you guys should even aspire to have 1 million followers. If you have 10,000, 20,000, 100,000 tops, you can make hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not millions of dollars, if you operate that social media correctly. So my goal today, so once I did that, we grew it all. I wrote everything that I did down, like everything that I did down, and we created a course basically. And we started selling this course for like 2,500 bucks. And what I'm doing today is I'm basically taking all the best parts from this and giving it to the real estate industry, because in my opinion, we are some of the worst at social media. I'm going to blast myself for that. We are some of the worst at social media, and we need the help that we can get. So we're going to go through a ton, okay? Get a pen out, a pad of paper out. Get ready. I'm probably going to overwhelm you guys a little bit, but that's the point of this. I want to give you 10 practical takeaways today that you can implement into a social media strategy that's not overwhelming, that makes it very, very doable. We're not going to go high level, walk away from this with nothing that you can actually implement. I want you to implement 10 things today, and a year from now, you're going to look back and say, I made $25,000. I closed 5 deals directly from this webinar. Like, that's my goal. I really have an abundance mindset. I want to give you everything that I can. That course is 5, 6, 7 hours of material, okay? And at the very end of it, if you guys want more, I'll show that to you. But this is gonna be like 30 to 45 minutes of the most basic things broken down that if I was in your shoes, I would start immediately. So we're gonna start jumping into stuff. I'm really excited about it. So let's do this. We are recording, we are good. Okay. Service-based businesses inside of social media are horrendous at social media. That is the first thing that you've got to get out of your head. Okay. I don't know 10 realtors and loan officers that are doing social media correctly, but it's not just us, like lawyers, accountants, even restaurants. Think of any service-based industry and they are not doing social media correctly. When I think what social media like brands are out there that are doing it well, like Red Bull is phenomenal. Nike does a really good job. There are these brands that are doing it well, but every single one of those brands, I'm going to start to build a narrative here. Every one of those brands, you will notice, does not sell their product. Okay. And that is why service-based businesses are so bad at social media, is because our time directly correlates to our money, right? If I am a lawyer and charge an hourly rate, the amount of hourly rates that I can bill, the more money I make. And so we become dependent and we become have a scarcity mindset that we therefore need to constantly sell. But the best social media, no one goes on social media saying, oh, I hope I get sold to today. I hope I see ads today. That is not the point of social media. People go on social media to be entertained and they go on social media to be educated. Those are the only two reasons that people are on social media. And so when you're out there as a real estate agent or a loan officer trying to teach them about interest rates and trying to teach them about escrow periods and trying to teach them about the 3-bed, 2-bath down their street that they could buy, they're going to swipe past that so fast. The people that are engaging with your current content are other industry professionals trying to be supportive. Like the fact that that's just the truth. And I know that's kind of harsh and I'm being a little bit harsh, but we've got to start flipping our mind and start thinking that we are not going to be like every other real estate agent. We are not going to post our closing photos and our just listed photos. We're not going to post videos about escrow accounts and interest rates and all that kind of stuff. We're going to throw all that out the window and we're going to find what the biggest brands are doing and start implementing their strategies. Because if Red Bull is paying a 100-person team $100 million to create a social media strategy, you better believe that they know what they're doing. So we're going to start trying to figure out what are they doing, how are they doing it, and how can I implement it into my business? And that's when we're going to start looking at different strategies on how to actually do it. If you look at my page, it is very, very purposeful that I never talk about mortgages, okay? The reason I do that, we'll jump into a little bit, is because people could care less about mortgages. Okay, so we're either going to be entertained or educated. I don't care which one you do. You can do either one, okay? People gravitate to one or the other. I am clearly, you're all here because of social media, so you all know who I am. I am clearly education. And that's just, I'll be completely honest, out of insecurity that I can't entertain. Like I know my personality and I'm not going to get up there and entertain people, but I can educate people. So you can choose entertainment or education. As I go through this whole thing, I'm trying to talk fast so I can cram all this in for you guys. But figure out what one you lean towards, and I am okay with either one because either one can be successful. Red Bull is entertaining, okay? That is their whole purpose. You're jumping off buildings and doing crazy stuff because it's really cool to watch. So they're entertaining. I'm education, okay? You can do either one. But the important thing that you need to start figuring out is the psychology around being an expert, okay? People, when you view someone as an expert, you subconsciously believe they are an expert in all things, okay? So I'm trying to think of an example. Most people don't know this, but some of the best business people are sports stars, okay? So LeBron James owns Blaze Pizza. Shaquille O'Neal was an early investor in Starbucks. All of these people got amazing opportunities to invest in businesses and to be on the boards of massive companies. And I'm not ignorant to the fact that that's because they have influence and these companies wanted that, but there's a million other people that they could have influence. But they found the best of the best. They knew that they know how to hone a craft, how to be dedicated. They are experts in the field, and subconsciously they believe they're experts in all things. It happens everywhere, okay? If you are an expert in one thing, people assume you're an expert in all things. I post videos about financial topics, and I get DMs constantly asking me how much they should sell their Toyota Corolla for. Like, they think I'm an expert in cars because I post a video about cars. You don't have to be an expert in your field. In fact, I'm not going to let you. By the end of this, you're going to realize that we're not going to be posting purely about real estate 24/7. But you don't have to be an expert in your field. If I could restart my page, I love my page. I'm never going to change it. But I could go, like I love golf. I could go create a golf social media page. Okay, there are so many tips and tricks. I could grow that page as big as I wanted to. We could do whatever I wanted to with it. And at the end of every single video, I would just say, I love golf, or I love being a loan officer because it allows me to play golf. People will subconsciously see me being an expert in golf, which is so far from the truth, which is why I didn't do it, is because I'm so far from an expert. But people will associate you being an expert in one thing and will naturally draw the line to the other, okay? So I get asked all the time, why do I do financial stuff? And it's this concept, but I took it a step farther. So on average, real estate loan officers, okay? You guys that are posting interest rate information and home information and all this type of stuff, you are basically asking the algorithm. People don't consume that information every single day. We all need to recognize that. Like, the only ones consuming that every day are other real estate agents, loan officers, and title companies. The average consumer could care less what an escrow account is when they've been in their home for 15 years and they never plan on moving. They're just not going to consume your content. And so what you're asking the algorithm to do is, I want you to find someone in my market that is in the process of buying a home in the 2-week window that the average person buys a home every 7 years, okay? You are asking the algorithm to put your video randomly on a For You page or a reel in front of that person, and then you're asking that person to take the actionable step to reach out to you. It's not gonna happen. Like, the amount of leads from social media are just not gonna be there. And so when I started formulating this page, I said, there's 2 weeks every 7 years that people want to consume mortgage information. I don't want to be in front of them these 2 weeks. I want to be in front of them, I actually did the math. It's 362 weeks, the other 362 weeks when they're not home shopping. That's when I want them to see me as the expert. Because if they see me as the expert for 6 years and 50 weeks, over and over and over, and I remind them, I'm a loan officer. Once a month, I post a mortgage video where I share how many fundings I have or something on my story or something generic, like I wear a Fulcrum Home Loans shirt or whatever it is. For 7 years, every single week, they consume my content of financial net worth and see that I'm an expert. And then when the time comes to purchase, they know, like, and trust me, will reach out to me and will actually use me for their mortgage, okay? You have the probability is so much better that this one is successful over this one. Now, I know I'm getting on my soapbox and this is kind of the first screen, but I need you guys to realize how important this is, because this is going to frame the rest of this conversation as you guys start to post other stuff, okay? And I'm not going to completely kill your page. I know a lot of you, if you're on this, I'm assuming you do social media. I'm not going to completely kill your page, but I do need you to conceptualize why we're changing up the content just a little bit. So if I was you, this is how I'm thinking, okay? So we're going to go over 4 different things today. This is where you're going to start getting the takeaways. We're going to go over 4 things, okay? Yes, this is recorded. You guys can start dropping Q&As in there. I will do a Q&A at the very end. I'm assuming there's going to be a lot of them. I'm not going to answer them until I'm done kind of going through this, but you guys can start to drop Q&As over there. So we're going to go over 4 things today that I want you guys to write down and remember. Step number 1, we're going to talk about how to engage your audience right off the bat and what creates a successful video, okay? Point number 2, we're going to go over the genetic makeup of every viral video that has ever gone viral. I'm going to show you exactly what makes a viral video so you can start getting more views. Then we're going to talk about batching content and sourcing content. The last 2 are the biggest hurdles all of you face for making content. I promise you that. Those are the reasons people do not continue on social media, is because they struggle coming up with ideas to post, or they're struggling with the time management to actually film the videos. All of us know social media is a benefit, and so we're going to solve those 2. So the first 2, we're going to make your content better, and then the last 2, I'm going to help you figure out ways so that you can jump over the biggest hurdles so you can actually turn this into something that will be monetizable and be worth it. So here's the 4 things we're going over. First one, how to make your videos more engaging. The most important part of your video is the first 3 to 5 seconds, okay? When you turn your account, and I would highly suggest all of you turn your accounts into creator accounts. That's step number 1. Turn your account into a creator account. By doing that, you're telling the algorithm that you intend to create and you want to be shown to more people. You're no longer a consumer of social media who only want your family and friends to see it. You're telling it you want to be a creator. So now that you're a creator, there are actually charts that will show you the watch time of your videos. The first 3 to 5 seconds is where all the drop off is, and then it will plateau for however engaging your video is, and then you'll drop off towards the end and it will be a slow descent. The first 3 to 5 seconds is where someone is going to decide whether they're going to actually watch your video or not. You have got to put more time into your hook than anything else you do. When I was first starting, this was the hardest part for me. I knew that every viral video, as I started studying all my favorite social media people and influencers and in the industry, every single one of them used clickbait hooks. And I felt like an absolute idiot posting these videos with these hooks to my family and friends because it's not who I am. But I quickly got over it when I realized how important the hook was. So there was a study done, and what they did is they took 100 different creators and they sorted them by their follower count, and they did it by the average number of views. So basically like followers divided by views, if that makes sense. And they went through all their videos. And what they came to how many words resulted in the most amount of views based on your followers. And it was a massive bell curve that went up and down. The peak of it was 6 words. If you can make your hook 6 words, and they went a step further, at a 5th grade reading level, then the viewership of your video is like 10x that of something with 12 words. It's absolutely mind-blowing. People have to know what your video about is in the first 3 to 5 seconds. So we're going to talk through some of these hooks and how to do it. But think about, our dopamine receptors are absolutely fried nowadays. Okay, back in I don't even know when Ben-Hur came out, the 60s. Someone will blast me for that. But back in the day, movies used to be like 3, 4, 5 hours and have intermissions because we had the patience to sit through that, and that was absolutely mind-blowing. Nowadays, we can't make it through the first 5 seconds of a video without flipping. I know literally the pace at which I flip on social media because I do it so much. Basically, if you do not entertain me in the first 2 to 3 seconds, I'm gone. I have to know what your video is about in the first seconds or I'm gone. I have something else to do, and that's because my dopamine receptors are gone. And so when you're creating content, you have to have a hook, 6 words or less at a 5th grade reading level in the first 3 to 5 seconds. This is probably the biggest mistake I see people inside our industry making. You guys actually will have solid hooks, okay? You'll do a video on the Fed meeting and why interest rates are going up. But your video will be like, this week was a really hard week inside the markets. We know what's going on, but I'm going to walk you through the 3 things that the Fed did that's going to affect us. That's a solid hook. The problem was you had 15 seconds before that of trying to fluff into your video so they don't know what it is and the person's already gone. Or if you started with, here are the 3 things that matter from the Fed meeting today. I'm now going to listen. Do you see how that is? The hook makes such a dramatic change in the entire genetic makeup of the actual post if you can do it. So you need to start dialing in your hooks. You need to tell people what they're actually going to get in the next 90 seconds and convince them that the next 90 seconds of their life is worth watching you on a screen. Okay? This hook is extremely, extremely important. Next part. Everyone pull this out and write this down on a sticky note. You're going to stick it on your computer or on your bathroom mirror. You're going to stick it everywhere, okay? These are the 4 parts of every viral video ever made. And I'm going to walk you through an example as we do it. Every single viral video will have an engaging hook, will emotionally connect to the audience. So the first 3 to 5 seconds is an engaging hook. The next 5 to 10 seconds is an emotional connection. The remainder of the video, which is going to be between 45 and a minute 15, is going to be either educational or entertaining. And then they are going to end with a call to action that prompts action out of the follower. Okay, and every single one of these are on purpose. I'm going to talk through them so you guys know what we're doing. The hook I just went in depth in. I'm going to give you an example in a little bit. The emotional connection, okay? You have to emotionally connect. You know what? We're just going to start with an example so you can kind of see this. So we got a lot of real estate agents on here. We've got 300 people basically in this webinar right now. So I can't tell you how many times I've seen the same video from every single real estate agent I follow that sits in front of their new listing, pulls out their phone to selfie or has some videographer recording them and says, hey, this is Braden Shaw. I'm here at 123 ABC Street. Come walk through it with me. We have all seen that video 400 times, okay? If I see that, I'm scrolling actually, I'm gonna because it's one of my realtors and I support my realtors, and then I'm scrolling right past it. I don't care. I've seen this video 400 times. I really don't care about the 3-bed, 2-bath behind you that you're gonna walk me through. Imagine now, same exact video, same setup, we're in the same thing in front of the same house. but you changed it and said, bet you can't afford this house. Like, do you see how much more engaging that hook is? You just challenged me. Now I believe that this home is significantly better off, and I'm gonna stay to see why can't I afford this home? Like, you just challenged who I am and what this home is, why can't I do it? And one of the best part, bet you can't afford this house, 6 words, okay? You gotta focus on that hook, so that's a hook. Next is emotional connection. How I would do it here, okay? Interest rates are high right now. It is extremely hard to afford a home, let alone pay your bills. This home is absolutely incredible. I'm excited to show it to you, but if you have questions about home affordability, please reach out, but let's go walk through it. Now we're gonna go to part 3. Do you see that inside that 10 seconds, okay, I hit on home affordability, I hit on inflation, I hit on unable to pay your bills, I hit on the frustrations of the real estate market right now. I hit on every emotional factor I possibly could with my follower in a 10-second period that just connected them to me. Social media is about connection, it's about community. And so if we went from hook to directly to educate and entertain, we don't build any sort of connection so that they want to actually follow you, which is gonna be the end goal at the end of this. So you have a hook, you're gonna emotionally connect and make yourself feel more real. The days of traditional influencers is gone. Like, you don't want Tate sitting on his Audi in Dubai preaching to you in a suit. Like, that's just not the day of social media anymore. People want to be able to relate on social media, which is honestly, like, to toot my own horn, I think that's one of the things that I've nailed brand-wise that I think you guys should really think about is what is the persona you're putting out there. People want someone that's relatable, that they can actually get to know and they feel like is someone just like them. They don't want someone that's gonna preach and look down to them and act like they're in a desk at school in their first grade class and the teacher's lecturing them. They want to feel connection and on the same playing field. It's a little bit of a side tangent, but that's the important part of an emotional connection. Step number 3, this is where everything's at inside the post, okay? This is your education or your entertainment, depending on what you decide to do. So, in this part of the video, to continue on with the example, you would then take them through the home. Show them the crazy parts of the home, the awesome staircases, the pool, the whatever is inside the home if you're entertaining. If you're educating, like this is where I put the top 3 reasons to get a Roth IRA or the top whatever it is. Like this is where I put my list. So I educate, this is where I put my entertainment, this is where I give real practical takeaway advice so that someone walks away 90 seconds later with a better place in life. They've either learned something from me they can implement, or they have laughed and I've entertained them so that they remember it and they tell their friends about it. Like that is your goal. Every single video should be a memorable one because you educated and entertained. This is the meat and potatoes of it, okay? I had someone inside the Viral Advantage, which is that course I was telling you about earlier. He joined the course. Up to that point, the video with the most views he's ever gotten was 10,000 views on a video. Within 2 weeks of starting this, he had a video pop off for almost 1 million views. I think it's like 970,000 views. He'll cross 1 million views here pretty quickly, and he's a real estate agent. And he's done very small tweaks inside the stuff that we're talking about, and it's making his videos pop off. But the stuff that I love, he has 2 different tactics here. He educates and entertains inside his videos as a real estate agent. I think it's awesome. So one video he did is he took you to, it's I think the most expensive home inside Boise. I think it was like a $7 million, $6.7 million listing inside Boise, okay? And he took you in it and he did a good hook. He's gonna walk you through this crazy home, but then words over screen, he wasn't even talking, it was just words over screen, said how much does it cost to afford this home? And then every 3 to 5 seconds, he was flashing up words saying, you would need roughly 20% down, which is $1.4 million. That leaves you with a $4 million mortgage at a 7% interest rate. It comes to $40,000, $42,000 a month. Like he's walking you through the math of affording that home, which was super, super interesting. And he was educating around how much it costs someone to own a home like that. But in the background, I'm walking through a $7 million home looking at one of the craziest homes I've ever seen. That video popped off for like $250,000. 2 days later, he did something very similar with like a $5 million home. He's basically finding all the luxury real estate and creating his brand around that, which I think is really, really smart if you can do it. But that next video, he walked you through like a $4 million home to the exact same topic, and that one went off for almost 1 million views. So you can educate or entertain. Entertainment for real estate agents is walking through really nice homes. Education, if you're a mortgage loan officer or a real estate agent, is going to be a lot of the stuff that I do, or create lists, help them build their net worth, investment properties. We'll talk about how to find your pillars and niches later, but it's extremely important. So we've done a hook, we've done emotional connection, we've educated or entertained. Every single video should have a call to action. People, it is crazy how subliminally minded people are on social media. They are already mindlessly flipping through social media. So we actually tested this. Early on when I was doing this, we would take videos and I was A/B testing my call to actions. And so with one video, I would end my video with just a good stat, solid ending. The next video was almost identical, but I'd end it with, follow me if you're looking to grow your net worth. Those were the last words out of my mouth. A video with the exact same views. Both videos got 100,000 views. The ones where I said, follow me if you're looking to grow your net worth, got me 3 times the followers than the other one. That's absolutely crazy. And all it is it's subliminal. At the very end of the video, I told them what I wanted them to do, which was follow me. And they instinctively clicked on my picture and hit follow because oh yeah, I want to grow my net worth. Every video should have a call to action. It doesn't have to be hard. Like, it doesn't have to be if you have friends, family, if you have any friends, family, or coworkers looking to buy, list, or sell, give me a call. Like, that's a hard call to action. In fact, I would almost never do that, okay? Inside the course, we talk about jab, 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 hook, okay? You need to jab, which is value, 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 before you can ever hook with a sale. So you should not have these hard call to actions, but soft call to actions prompting growth within your page needs to be on every single video, every single time. Now, when you look at any viral video, it is gonna have the same genetic makeup, okay? What's funny is like entertainment videos, if you guys are gonna go the entertainment path, hooks are not always words. I know in this case, because my topic is words, I've been saying that. If you look at a lot of, there's called, oh, Jared, I wish you were in here. Subliminal hooks is what I'm gonna call them. But you'll notice there's actually a hook strategy that is proven to root people in if you fidget with your camera beforehand, or if you're drinking a cup of coffee. It brings that relationship and that realistic point of view, and it's called a nonverbal hook, and it works. Those people have done 15 takes of their video at their camera with a ring light and everything's perfect, but then to start the video, they're gonna go adjust it. And that just makes you feel like it's raw and authentic. It creates intrigue, and it's called a nonverbal hook. So even the ones, I mean, go look at dancing videos, you know what I mean? Like, all of them have some form of this exact viral video makeup. You need to have this written down. And anytime you post content on social media, you need to ask yourself, did I go through the 4 parts of a viral video? Because I promise you it will lead to virality. Next parts. I'm flying through this so we can get through to a Q&A, okay? How to actually stay consistent. In my opinion, this is one of the things that sets everything that we've talked to up this part, you can find other places. This is where I start to be extremely unique in the way that I do social media, and in my opinion is the reason for a lot of my growth. Batching is easy. It's sourcing that I think is really good, but batching is easy. So batching, there is a reason that I am in front of my blue background every single video that you guys see me in. And oftentimes you'll watch 6 or 7 videos of me in the exact same shirt for 7 days in a row. The reason is because social media for me is not fun. I'll be straight up with that. Like, I don't enjoy filming the content. Every day I don't pop my head off the pillow saying I can't wait to film my video. And so when I was trying to film, I started doing a video a day. And what I realized is I would come up with every excuse known to mankind to not get that video done. It wasn't a conscious decision, but at 5 o'clock, I'd be like, oh shoot, I forgot my video today. I'll get tomorrow. Like, I looked for ways to get out of it rather than looking for ways to do it. And so what I ended up doing is I started batching my content. I film 1 hour a week. Mondays at 3 o'clock, I walk into that studio, wear the same shirt, have 7 videos. I crank them out in 60 minutes. I'll film 7 videos and I'm done for the week. That's all I do. Then I send them off to a video editor. He edits them. We can talk through that. I talk through it in my course at length on how to edit and all that kind of stuff in a good way. But we edit them, and then every single day I just have to allot 5 to 10 minutes to actually post the video and engage and do the stuff that I'm supposed to do, okay? Which there's whole algorithms around how to post and how to engage, the 10-10-10, all that kind of stuff. But it does not have to take a lot of time. I would highly, highly, highly suggest that you start batching all your content. If you know that you're gonna be in front of a really nice home and you're gonna do that, bet you can't afford this house, and walk them through and gonna show them all this cool stuff, Awesome. When you're inside that home, dress nice because you're already doing videos, film 3 or 4 other videos. Excuse me. Figure out how to batch your content in a single day and start to build out a trove. There was a point, I knew that I had like 2 vacations back to back and a small surgery that was gonna put me out for a little bit. And so there was a point, it was actually January of this year, that we started stockpiling videos because I was batching. So instead of doing like my 5 to 7 videos every single week, I was doing like 10 to 15 every week, and we did that for like 5 weeks in a row. I think we had over 80 videos stockpiled, ready to post inside a batch. And you know how easy it is to do social media when you've got 80 videos behind you that every day you can just post and post and post and post, and you're super consistent because the algorithm loves consistency. You have to show that you're a creator. You have to post at least 4 times a week. I would shoot for every single day, but you need to post at least 4 times a week so that the algorithm sees you as a creator and not a consumer. So batching content is huge. Sourcing content. The 2 things that this is massive. This should be on a sticky note everywhere. Next thing, sourcing content, massive. So I'm gonna get into sourcing. My goal is to be done in the next 8 minutes, and we'll turn it over to a Q&A. Sourcing content is the biggest thing that is gonna either make you flop or succeed. And when you source content, it's got to be viral content. I'm getting like 18 phone calls. We are going to do not disturb. There we go. So when you're sourcing content, before we talk about sourcing content, I need to frame your mind around this. There is no such thing as original content. I need you all to understand that, okay? Me talking about net worth, someone else has said what I'm saying. I guarantee you, I may not know them, but in some lecture, in some podcast, in some Google newsletter, in some seminar, on some social media video, my concept of compound interest or Roth IRAs, or a lot of my videos are like consumer reports. I'm literally just looking up consumer reports and reading it. It has been created by someone else at some point in time, okay? So there's no such thing as original content unless it's a personal story of yours. Now that we understand that, so we know that we're gonna rip every single video we do, in essence, I don't wanna say rip someone off, that's the wrong term. We are copying someone's content. Like, at the end of the day, that's just the sad truth. Now, it's our job and responsibility not to completely copy them and to make it our own and to use our own stories and all that kind of stuff, and I'll get into that in a little bit. But you need to understand that the general principle of every single video has been done somewhere by someone, and you're never gonna be original. So stop trying to come up with original content. What get every creator, their problem and what they do is they create 50 videos, and they're on Word and they're scripting them out and they have teleprompters and they're doing all this stuff, and they create 50 videos, okay? 49 of them are gonna flop and you're gonna fall in the 200 jail is what I call it. It's when you're stuck between that 200 and 400 views on your reels, okay? You're gonna get stuck in that jail. Then you have one video that pops off and you're like, oh my gosh, this is it. Like the snowball's gonna start rolling, I'm gonna get momentum. And then you do another 49 videos of fail and you have one pop off, and it becomes this cycle. And so what you need to do is you need to start sourcing viral content. So what I do, let's say I'm with a client or I'm talking to someone inside a consultation, or I'm in my social media course doing a one-on-one or whatever it is, okay? And someone asks me a question saying, hey, what are your favorite 3 credit cards? I'm like, oh, that's a really good video. What the normal person would do is they'd go to Word, do a bunch of research on Google, write down their 3 cards and create a video around it. What I'm gonna do, instead of sourcing my content from Google and Word and my mind, I am opening up TikTok, which is the #1 algorithm in the world, okay? More searches are done on TikTok than on Google. It is the most used. People on average are spending 4 hours and 7 minutes a day on social media. I guarantee the average person not spending 4 hours a day on Google. And it is so fine-tuned. If you walk onto TikTok, go up to the search algorithm and type in top 3 credit cards, there is gonna be 30 videos pop up and every single one of them has over 1 million views. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take those videos and I'm gonna watch 5 of them. And I'm gonna flip through it. I do it on 2 times speed. I'm holding it down so I get 2 times speed. And I'm gonna listen to 5 videos on the top 3 credit cards. And I'm gonna figure out what is the genetic makeup that has made all 5 of these videos go viral. What was their hook? What was their emotional connection? What was their meat and potatoes or their education? And what was their call to action? These 5 videos are gonna end up being extremely similar because the algorithm has chosen very similar videos to go viral. It is very picky on what goes viral and not. And so instead of chucking spaghetti against the wall and having 49 fail, instead we're going to go to the algorithm that's already deciding whether it's going to go viral or not. And I'm going to say, show me 50 videos that have gone viral. Let me watch those 5 and then take it, put it in my own words, use my own credit cards, but have the same genetic makeup of the videos that have already gone viral. There is no reason to recreate the wheel here and source your content yourself. And so what this is going to do is, instead of having 50 videos and 1 going viral, you're going to have 50 videos and 40 of them go viral. And so that snowball can get so much more momentum. You get so many more followers, it starts compounding, and it turns into what I have, 1 million followers in less than a year, because you're using the machine that is deciding whether it goes viral or not to source your content to try to find viral content. This concept, I do not know a lot of people that do this. Like, very, very few people I know that are actually implementing this on a daily. And it is the #1 thing that I probably credit the majority of my success to. Because when every single day or every week, I'm sourcing 7 videos. And for 7 videos, I have to watch 5 to kind of create the general makeup of my video. That means I'm watching 35 videos a week that have over 1 million views. And the repetition, like, I'm a sports guy, I play basketball, the repetition that happens when you listen to 35 videos a week that are ultra successful, you start to hone in on what is the algorithm rewarding. The 6 words or less, the very good hooks, the call to actions at the end, how lots of lists. Lists are so popular on social media right now, not enough people are doing them. I have my reasons why. I talk about it at length inside the course, but lists prompt people to stay in videos longer, so it gives you an average watch time that is longer, and the social media platforms and algorithm reward that. They want longer watch times. So lots of lists. So you start to find these trends and these patterns because you're watching so much viral content inside your niche that you then start replicating it and producing it, and you start gaining this traction and gaining this momentum. This way of sourcing will cut down your sourcing and telepromptering and scripting and everything by 10x. So now I'm sourcing videos for an hour a week, finding my 7, watching the 5 videos, everything that I just talked about, and I'm filming for a week, and I do 10 minutes of posting. My total social media to this day, that's a lie. I had to hire Jared to answer DMs and comments because, I mean, I get probably, I don't even know, 300 to 500 DMs a day. So I had to have someone help me with that. But when I had 250,000 followers, I was managing my entire social media platform on less than 3 hours a week. It doesn't have to take a ton of time. It doesn't have to be this massive time commitment. But 3 hours a week, if you will dedicate 3 hours a week for the next year, I promise you that you will make $25,000, $50,000 next year from social media. Like, I guarantee, if you are a real estate agent loan officer, our commissions are so high, you will be able to directly link 3 to 5 deals to 10 deals from your social media if you will dedicate 3 hours a week to social media. The hard thing is, I will do this training multiple times. I will tell tons of people, I will help you, I will get you inside my community, I will give you one-on-ones, I will do everything, but the fact of the matter is you won't stick to it. And sticking to it and that consistency is one of the most important parts. I just showed you how to batch in an hour, I just showed you how to source in an hour, I showed you the genetic makeup of every single video that there is. We talked about hooks, like, I'm giving you so much, but you've just got to figure out how to actually do it, okay? So we are gonna jump into a Q&A here. I nailed it, my goal is 40 minutes, I'm at 39, look at me go. We're gonna jump into a Q&A here in just a second, but I want you guys to, so this whole thing, I just took, I think I told you at the beginning, that course was like 6 hours. When I created this course, I spent probably 10 hours inside the studio filming exactly what I do, like A to Z, like push this button, go here, source here, here are my pillars, how'd you come up with your pillars, like how do you know what, if I'm not gonna post real estate content, what content am I gonna post? What are the questions I'm asking? Like all this type of stuff. So I filmed for 10 hours. I took the course, we edited it down. I took it home to my wife because she was helping me in the social media journey. She's really smart with social media. She watched it, the 4-hour course. She looked at me and she said, are you sure you want to put this out there? I was like, why not? She's like, you are literally telling everyone exactly what you do. You're not holding anything back. I was like, that's the point. If someone has the dedication to stick to it for a year, like I did, I want them to be successful. And so these slides are kind of the genetic makeup. If I was to give you the 4 biggest things from that course, here it is. Granted, this is only 30 minutes. The course is like 4 or 5 hours. So a couple things for you guys. If you want to jump in, here's the information on it. It was $2,500. 2 weeks ago, I turned it into $197 a month, so it's a subscription. The reason I did this, okay, there's a lot of reasons I did this, but one of the biggest ones is if you guys want to jump in there, consume the 5-hour course as much as you can, and then jump out of there, you only paid $197. I promise you that will be the best $200 you spend in your entire life learning how to do this. If you're a loan officer, go watch that 5-hour course, memorize it and the genetic points of it, call every single real estate brokerage and say, I have a real estate training, and you will be able to train hundreds and hundreds of real estate agents on how to run their social media, and you will make hundreds of thousands of dollars as a result. If you're a realtor doing this, I guarantee, like I literally wrote personal guarantee here, I will guarantee if you guys spend 12 months inside this, that I will make you over $25,000 next year. Like that's how confident I am inside this place. So here's the actual course. Jump in there. Would love to have you guys in there. That wasn't the whole purpose of this. The purpose of this was to give you guys our industry. I actually skipped this part in the slide. Where's my bodybuilding.com guy? There he is, bodybuilding.com. So how this actually came to be is I was with the guy, I probably shouldn't have said bodybuilding.com, but too late. I was with the guy who is one of the head of marketing over bodybuilding.com that blew them up. And so he was in charge of their social media campaigns, their Facebook ads, their everything, social media, courses, like you name it, he ran it. He has been on top of multiple influencers with like 2, 3, 4, 5 million and in charge of their social media content inside the weightlifting world. He recently made a switch over to the real estate world. He went to a mastermind. I'm not going to tell you who because I don't want to blast him, but he went to a mastermind of 100 agents, some of the best agents inside the country, and he listened to them talk about marketing. He came back and his exact words is, this is absolutely dinosaur in the way that your industry is approaching social media. He was laughing at us. He's like, what you guys are doing now is what we started doing in like 2010. And so he's coming in trying to help people revolutionize real estate, and it's this type of stuff. The bar is so low for us as real estate professionals that everyone else is just posting closing day photos and posting like the stupidest stuff, that all you have to do is just set yourself apart, and the leads that can come from it are crazy. Like I posted one story last week about a loan estimate and had 48 appointments within an hour scheduled of people with loan estimates that are currently going through the process that want me to shop their mortgage for them. Like 48 inside states that I'm licensed. That's just states I'm licensed in. Okay, we had hundreds of people that actually filled out, but sadly I'm not in every state right now. So it's crazy the amount of business that you can get from social media if you'll just dedicate yourself. So I'll drop this link in the chat. We're gonna jump over to Q&A here just a second so that I can actually help you guys answer some of these questions. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Yeah, this is more just stuff on the community. So here's the actual courses, the Zoom recordings. Every single week we do live Q&As. So every single week I jump on with an hour and help you guys on your social media. There's chat boards. There's a lot inside of it. So it's extremely exciting. I love it. It's what I love doing. So I'd love to help you guys. I'm gonna stop screen sharing real quick, and we are gonna jump into a Q&A. Let me grab this. There's a lot of good questions in here. I just dropped the link inside the chat for everyone that actually wants to grab that link. Let me open up this Q&A. Will this be recorded? Yes, it will. Can I get a copy of this? Yes, I will. There's a bunch of people asking that. Yes, so I will create a recording of this. I'll probably put it on YouTube. And I'll send out the link to all participants. So if you had to jump in late or something like that, I'll make sure to get it to you. Do you think if you built your brand around something like golf, not financial topics like you did, that your audience would draw the same line of trust as your mortgage business? Or did you strategically choose financial content? Great question. I strategically chose it. Like I use that as an extreme example. I do think you could do that. Like I really do believe that you could draw that correlation of golf to real estate. I truly do believe that. One, I graduated in finance. I love personal finance. I've started, like I own this mortgage broker shop. We'll do probably $1 billion in mortgages, and I started it 4 years ago. So I love finances, I love business, I love social media, I love all that, and so it was a very natural thing for me to do. What I would actually suggest, here's a little more nugget for you, it's from the course, but how I would come up with what I was actually going to talk about is I would go to the 5 people closest in my life, spouses, parents, siblings, best friends, whatever it is, and say, if you were to come to me for advice for something outside of real estate, what would you come to advice for? Or what would that piece of advice be? And just listen. Don't prompt them, don't do anything. Someone will say finances, someone will say the stock market, someone will say golf, someone will say parenting tips, whatever it is that the 5 people closest to you trust you for, that is how I would start to actually create my content, because that's what you're already an expert in is going to be the most natural. So I'd write that question down, go have fun with it, ask that question. You can even tell them, call me a coach. Say, my coach made me ask this question to 5 of the closest people. Are you okay if I ask it for you? That way it's not weird. So that's where I would start, and then start building content around that. Which agent is that? I'm not going to give out specific names. Oh, what agent is it that did the viral video? I will give out that name. I thought you were asking what agent was calling everyone crap at marketing. Jared Ponce. Jared, are you in here? He's got to be in here. I'll grab his Facebook or his Instagram and drop it in the chat so you guys can get into 1 million. That'd be sweet. Can you steal my CTA? 100%. I don't care what you guys steal. Like the course that I do inside of the Viral Advantage, like I tell you everything I'm doing and tell you guys to steal it. You can steal it however you want. If you want to grow your net worth, follow me, do it. I love it. What do we talk about outside? So you say not to talk about what you're selling, but the example is real estate, our example for real estate agents. What do we talk about outside our niche? So I would kind of go back to that other question. Ask 5 people around you what they come for you for advice, and then figure out how to link it with what you see yourself as an expert in. The example that I gave of showing really well to like the multi-million-dollar listings is an entertainment way for real estate agents to post content. That's a great one. Honestly, real estate agents, my niche or niche, or however you guys want to say that, is another good one. Growing your net worth, investing strategies, tax strategies would be a really easy niche to get into if you're a real estate agent professional. Sales tactics. Try to figure out like who's my target audience, who's my favorite person I've ever worked with, who are my 5 favorite people I've ever worked with. Why were they my favorite? Were they high net worth individuals? Were they first time home buyers? Were they investors? What were they? And then figure out what are those people consuming. Like if I love working with investors because they're repeat clients, my investors are going to consume sales strategies, they're going to consume tax strategies, so figure out who your target audience is, ask the 5 people closest around you what you're an expert in, and figure out how to link those two, and that's what I would talk on. So forget real estate, don't even think about it. Now if it ends up being real estate, awesome. But I would figure out who's my target audience, and what are they consuming on social media, what am I an expert in, and figure out how to link those two. And whatever that is, I would do it. What is your 10-10-10 strategy that you're posting that you use? That's probably going to take a little bit too long to explain here. Inside the community, jump in there, we talk through it. But it's the way that I post my videos. I truly do believe that social media rewards you for being on the app and posting and doing specific things after the app. Do not use scheduling apps to post, do not do any of that. And so I have a strategy called the 10-10-10 strategy of how you should post every single day that will lead to the most amount of views and push people there immediately after after posting so that it can boost it. Because if you can get an extra 100 views in the first hour, the chances of you going viral is significantly higher, because that first hour is really, really important. And so that's where the 10-10-10 strategy comes in. But that would take me another 30 minutes to kind of go through. Hook, emotional connection, CTA, what was the other one? So it's hook, emotional connection, the actual education or entertainment, and then the CTA. So hooks, 3 to 5 seconds, emotional connection, 10 seconds. The meat and potatoes of the post is like 45 seconds, and then call to action is like 3 seconds. And that's how I would do it every single time. Where do you get your consumer reports? Google. So we talk at length inside the community about how to source and so I'm giving you guys a ton, I'm trying to keep it under an hour. There's stuff called converting content, and there's stuff called viral content. And you need to mix the two in a very strategic manner in the way that you source it. And that's one of the biggest ways that you can grow a fan base. So grow your account at a rapid pace, but not lose it because you don't have a fan base. So if you go to my page, in fact, I encourage you all to go to my page, click on the Reels tab and look at my views. It is very, very strategic that you will see a post go for 1 million views and then 200,000, 200,000, 200,000, 200,000, 3 million views, 300,000, 200,000, 300,000, 200,000 million views. I am doing that on purpose. So what I'm doing is I'm creating viral posts inside my viral pillar, which I'll help you create your pillars inside that community, but you create 5 pillars, and every 5 days you post one from each pillar. One of my pillars is virality, which is my consumer reports. My consumer reports is like top vehicles, least appreciating vehicles, best states to live in. They're lists that are slightly controversial, that have virality and are shareable. And that's one of my content pillars. That content pillar is going to get more views every single time. That content pillar will average me like 6,000 to 10,000 followers in a given day. And then over the next 5 days, I'm going to lose 300 followers a day, because the next 5 days I'm going to go through all my other content pillars that are actually my content pillars, and I'm going to convert them over to fans of my content. And then I'm going to post another viral one, get a bunch of eyeballs, and then rinse and repeat. And so that's, I know I just don't have time. Like, this course is 6 hours long. I'm trying to break it down for you, but that's the way that I would go about in the order that I'm posting, so that you can get the most eyeballs, keep them super fans so that they refer you business and have the most chance of actually cross-selling. That was a really good question. If I have bought followers and fake engagement on Instagram in the past, is my account screwed? Should I start a new page? Advice here is much appreciated. Love the candor, love the question. Yeah. I would say no. I would probably still go with it. And the reason that I'm going to say no on that one is because the first 1,000 to 2,000 followers are the hardest ones to get. Once you can get past like 2,500 followers, actually, once you can get past 10,000 followers, the snowball really starts moving. And so I would not want to start from zero, because it's going to be very, very difficult to ramp that up quickly. But it will probably take you longer than other people that are starting from 2,000. I think here's how I'd synopsis it. It's going to be quicker to keep your current account and go from here than it is to start from zero. But you're going to be slower than someone else starting at your current account, because I bet you Instagram has flagged you internally, and you're going to have to show them that you're not going to do that again. So yeah, that's kind of how I do it. How do you see the buyer's agent's job come July? Yeah, there's a lot here. I don't think July a lot is going to change, in all honesty. I think 3 to 5 years from now, and that's a lie, 18 months to 3 years from now, there is going to be a lot of change. What I think is going to happen, this lawsuit is already settled. The courts have not decided on it. The actual judges of these courts are still debating it, and they're releasing statements every so often. It's actually interesting to go read those statements. But in my opinion, there has been so many lawsuits over the last year, and every single one is coming to a different conclusion. When that happens, usually the courts will all combine, they'll get challenged in the courts, and then they'll start moving up the ranks of the courts. And eventually there's gonna have to be a general consensus of what we are doing moving forward. That process is gonna take months and years to happen. And so come to July, there's slight changes. Like MLS, you can't disclose the compensation inside the MLS, stuff like that. Now a judge has come out and said, as part of another case, that they don't even want the seller to agree to any compensation beforehand, but that's not decided on either. And so there's too much in the air for me to really tell you what's gonna happen. What I do believe is agents are going away. Agents' jobs are too valuable. Now the pendulum may swing because we have an ignorant consumer base that thinks agents are overpaid, which I can get on my high horse and explain a million reasons why that's not the case. But the consumer verbiage is kind of that way a little bit, but then I think it'll swing back when so many transactions fall through, they realize they can't negotiate. Honestly, put a first-time home buyer in front of a builder's rep, and you know how they would be taken advantage of through and through, and that is not ethical, nor is it right, and that is why we need buyer's agents. So I firmly believe that agents are here 5 to 10 years from now. I just don't know how the courts are gonna settle yet with everything going on, and so I read the news every single day on it. I think it's super interesting. I'm excited to see what happens. Is your editor still taking people on? Yes, they are still taking people on. I'm a little nervous to say that to hundreds of people. But if you want editing, my personal editor could probably handle a couple more. So I'll just do first come, first served basis. roughly it's $1,000 per month for 30 edited videos. So it comes to about $300 a video. And it's how I do it. I've tried a bunch of different editors. I've gone overseas. I've done a lot and settled on this one because I can sit there and ramble for 10 minutes on a topic, and I walk away from the studio saying that was crap, that's never going to be good. And his ability to take that and turn it into a quality video is pretty unreal. And when I was going overseas and finding cheaper editors, I couldn't get that. So yeah, I could probably take on a couple more. So if you really want that, I can't believe I'm doing this, but here's my email. You can email me. Are captions a must? 100%. You need to have captions on every single video. I saw a study one time that 70% of social media videos are watched on silent. And if you do not have captions on your video, the algorithm is smart enough to know you don't have captions. It won't show it to 70% of people. So you should have captions on every single video, so that the algorithm can push it to anyone, whether they're on sound or not. But I think captions are an absolute must. We talked through this in the course. Even if you put your own captions on it, I would highly suggest that you put Instagram's captions on top of that and drag it off screen to let the algorithm know that you have Instagram's native captions on there, because the videos do better. But make sure you have captions on every single one. My business Instagram has my business name. Should I keep that and start putting videos on my personal page? Very good question. I would highly suggest that every single one of you uses a personal name, because you are building a personal brand and influence. Try to name, outside of the names I used at the very beginning, Red Bull, Nike, all those, try to name a business that you guys follow and actually enjoy their content. If I ever see a good video from a business and I click and it's a business name, I'm not gonna follow it because I think I'm just being sold to and it's a marketing strategy. But if I see a person give a really good video, I'm much more likely to follow it because I feel like they're just a person that's out there giving advice. So I think businesses have a much harder path up than if you put your personal name. What's actually kind of funny, I wish I could change mine. So I bet you, of the couple hundred people that are on here, 90% of you think my last name is Fulcrum because my name is Braden.Fulcrum. Fulcrum is actually the name of a mortgage company. So my name is Braden Shaw. But I walk around town. I mean, last night I was at Home Depot and I had 2 people walk up to me saying, "Hello, Mr. Fulcrum, I love your page." Everyone thinks my name is Fulcrum because that's the last part of my page. If I could go back, I'd 100% do it Braden.Shaw. At this point, I'm gaining 5,000 followers a day, about 1 million followers, and I just don't want to break what's not broken. I'm too scared to change it, but if I could start again, I'd 100% do my name. Do you keep your videos to a certain length or less? Yes, 60 to 90 seconds. And there's multiple reasons for this. One, that's statistically proven is the best time. But 2, you will learn pretty quickly that you can monetize your social media outside of real estate. So once you have 10,000 followers on TikTok, if your video is over 60 seconds and under 90 seconds, they will pay you per view. I had 10,000 followers on my TikTok in December, and I got a $4,500 check from TikTok. Every single month since, I've received at least $4,000 for views on TikTok, and my TikTok following is much smaller than my Instagram following. And so if you can put, Instagram is the same thing. In the last week, I've made $1,200 from Instagram just because of views. So I'll bring home $10,000 a month just because I keep my videos between 60 and 90 seconds. So I would just, I mean, who's gonna say no to $120,000? So I would start there. It will take you a couple months to get to the size where you can actually start monetizing it that way, and the platforms will start paying you, but I would start doing it because why not? Like, I will make, I hate talking numbers on here, but I will make $300,000 to $400,000 from my social media doing like nothing with stuff like that, like affiliate links and being paid per view and like stuff I'm not sponsored posts, not mortgages, not my businesses, like nothing I'm actively doing, just passively. And that's one of the reasons I love social media, is because you can make so much money passively without even trying. How do you respond to people who question your net worth to prove your wisdom advice? In other words, if you come off like millions in net worth based on your perception, but you really don't, what is your response when they ask you? I really struggle with this one. This is a really good, insightful question. As you are there, giving whatever you guys choose as your net worth, how do you build recognition without flaunting it and being cocky? I am not the person that is going to flaunt my net worth. I don't like it. Like, I will never be sitting in front of a Lamborghini on my private jet flaunting my money on my page. It's just not who I am. And so when I first started, I got questioned all the time, but I didn't really care. And so the way that I combated it was I just gave some of the best advice that no one could argue with. Like at the end of the day, if my advice is good, no one's going to care. And so that's how I went about it, is I just made sure at the beginning I was even more thoughtful than I am now on what I was putting out there, because I didn't have the followers to validate me, and so my information had to validate me. And so, if you're putting good information out there, then who really cares? The other thing, the quote that if you know 10% more than the person next to you, you're considered the expert, is 100% true. Like, my content is not rocket science. Any one of you could Google for 10 minutes and make one of my videos. Like, it's not that hard. Now, I studied finance, I love finance, I own companies, like, I do feel like I do have a decent financial literacy, but it didn't start that way. I have learned more about financial literacy in the last year of creating all these videos than I ever had in my life. And so you will naturally become more skilled in your industry and in your pillars as you kind of actually start posting. So for first-time home buyers, what strategies would you post? Down payment assistance, different types of mortgages, house hacking, etc. So I wouldn't post any of that. And this kind of goes back to the original part. If that's the information you're posting, you are trying to tell the algorithm, put your video in front of the first-time home buyer when they're actually consuming this information. I guarantee you, someone that is 18 months away from purchasing is not looking up down payment assistance programs. Okay? That's not what they're consuming. What they're consuming, I naturally think financial advice. What they're consuming is, how do I level up my job? How do I make more money? How do I get my debt under control? Like, how do I, best cities to live in, internships, best colleges, a lot of them will be college grads. Like, you need to go to your target audience and figure out every day what are they consuming on social media, and that's the content you need to create. Don't create the content you want to create. Create the content that they want to consume. Because if you meet the consumer where they're at, which is on social media, consuming the information that they enjoy, you will cast your net so much wider and be so much more successful. So I actually wouldn't talk about a lot of that stuff because no one cares. I don't talk about it on my page because no one cares. I would find out what is my target, which you said first-time home buyers. What are first-time home buyers consuming on social media? And that's where I need to be. It's not what I want to post. Have you noticed a recent change in your viewership on Reels? I saw a recent Instagram influencer mention the Instagram changed the algorithm and Reels viewership is down. Yes, I do. But it's not, there was about a 3-week lull that ended about 2 weeks ago. So like the month of March, probably, yeah, basically March, my viewership was drastically down. But in the last month, or in the last week, I think I have 3 videos that will hit 1 million views in the last week, which is good for me. But there was a real rough time about a month ago where real viewership was significantly down. And that's the important part, and that's one of, I mean, keep plugging this course, but that's the important part of having a community of people that are dedicated towards social media growth and having influencers in there. Like inside that community, we've got 650,000 followers. We've got 1.1 million followers. We have professional football players, professional basketball players. All of us have massive followings and are very, very fine-tuned into what is trending and what is not. Because what was trending 2 years ago is not trending today. And so you need to surround yourself with people that are in social media all day that can help you navigate that, because these changes are very real. That was a very good question because it's very, very real. If I have VAs posting for me, is that bad? I can't imagine all big creators like Gary Vee are posting their posts all day. Yeah, I wouldn't do it. I will. Okay, it is more important that you are consistent every single day than having someone else post for you. So first level, if having a VA post is the only way you're going to post every day, do it. Like, we need to do it every single day. That should be a non-negotiable. But if you can post and do the 10-10-10 and everything that I talk about inside the Viral Advantage, you will be, I guarantee your viewership will jump 20 to 30% almost immediately. Gary Vee himself is not posting it, but he has local people inside his office that are logged into his account that are doing their version of the 10-10-10. And so, yeah, I would definitely do that. Okay, we are over our hour, and I missed a lot of question. Um, there are like 3 or 4 questions in here that I'm going to end with. Um, and that, is it a pipe dream to believe that I can actually grow on social media? Someone said I have 700, someone said I had 2,000 followers. It is not a pipe dream. It's a pipe dream probably to get to 1 million followers in a year. I am an anomaly. I understand that. I got lucky with the algorithm, and I would not expect exactly that. But it is not an anomaly to believe that you can have 10,000 followers in the next year and make over $100,000 off social media if you do it correctly. I firmly believe, like I literally gave you all a guarantee. You guys would be idiots not to join the Viral Advantage, because I just guaranteed your money that if you are in there for 12 months, you'll make $25,000 from social media inside, because you guys are loan officers and real estate agents. I know the size of your commissions. Like I know you can directly correlate $25,000 and you're going to pay $2,400 to do it. As a 10 times X on your money. Like you'd be an idiot not to take that. And the reason I'm doing that is because I know I only need you to get 5,000 followers to be able to do that. 10,000 followers would be great. 100,000 followers, you'll be out of your mind. With 100,000 followers as a real estate agent, I probably wouldn't even be doing real estate agent. I would just refer. You will be having hundreds and hundreds of leads come out. You could just be referring agent, taking 25% on each of those, or set up some subscription model where people pay you $10,000 for 20 leads like Zillow, and you can make so much money. So it is not a pipe dream. This is very, very real. I would highly suggest every single one of you jump into the Viral Advantage, even if it's just for a month or two. I'd love to see you guys in for 12 months. I'll give you guys a personal guarantee if you do. But I enjoy this side of it. This is what we do every single week. I hold an hour-long coaching call every single week in there about social media, helping you guys grow your accounts and monetize it the proper way. We talk through stories, monetization strategies, DM strategies. Like this was just the surface of what is hours and hours of content in there. So we're gonna wrap this thing up. The link to the community and the course is in the chat. So I look forward to seeing you guys all jump in there. Super excited to help you guys all jump in and grow your social medias. I also have my email in there. Reach out if you guys ever have questions. Like I'm an open book. Loan officers, I love helping loan officers grow. Real estate agents, same thing, social media, whatever it is. I enjoy the mentorship side of this. And so jump in, ask me questions, reach out to me on social media, and I look forward to it. I'll also make this recording available, so I'll figure out a way to post this online so that you all can get access to it, so you can go back and watch it again, because there's a lot of good nuggets in here. And every time you watch it, create a video, you need to go back and kind of look at it. But yeah, I look forward to seeing you all in the community. Viral Advantage, so you guys can take that course, and we'll connect soon. Thanks, everyone.